वेलकम टू वीलन में आपका स्वागत है। टुडे सब्जेक्ट अकाउंटेंसी सेकंड और फाइनेंशियल अकाउंटिंग सेकंड, सेशन नंबर 14 एंड टॉपिक इन दिस सेशन परचेज ऑफ बिजनेस एंड प्रॉफिट प्रायर टू इनकॉर्पोरेशन। टॉपिक टू बी कवर्ड इन दिस सेशन: मीनिंग एंड नीड्स, परचेज कंसीडरेशन, गुडविल और कैपिटल रिजर्व, अकाउंटिंग एंट्रीज, interest to vendors, debtors and creditors taken over for collection and payment on behalf of the vendors, profits prior to incorporation, and some comprehensive illustration. Now, meaning and need. A purchase of business refers to the acquisition of a running business. Such business may be owned by a corporate body like a joint stock company or by a non-corporate body like a proprietary concern or a partnership firm. In the context of company accounts, when the business acquired by a company is owned by another company, it is called absorptions or merger, which involves a cumbersome legal process and a highly specialized accounting treatment. Here the terms purchase of business is conformed to the acquisition of running business owned by a sole proprietor or by a proprietorship firm. Purchase consideration. Purchase consideration refers to the amount of price payable by the purchasing company to the vendors of the running business. This amount may be mutually agreed to by the purchasing company and the vendors on the basis of the assets and liability taken over. जितना भी अमाउंट आपका बनता है एग्रीमेंट के अकॉर्डिंग, जितने एसेट्स आप लेते हैं, कितनी लायबिलिटीज आपको पे करनी है, और उस तरह से ये अमाउंट कैलकुलेट कर लिया जाता है. देयर आर 3 मेथड्स टू असर्टेन द अमाउंट ऑफ परचेज कंसीडरेशन. नंबर 1 लमसम मेथड, कि पूरा जितना भी हम एसेट्स आपके पास हैं हम एक अमाउंट लगा देते हैं. देन नेट पेमेंट मेथड एंड देन नेट एसेट्स मेथड. तो इन 3 मेथड से हम जो है परचेज कंसीडरेशन कैलकुलेट करते हैं. परचेज कंसीडरेशन सेकंड लमसम मेथड. इन मोस्ट केसेज द परचेजिंग कंपनी एंड द वेंडर्स एग्री ऑन ए लमसम अमाउंट एज द टोटल परचेज कंसीडरेशन फॉर द बिजनेस टेकन ओवर. नेक्स्ट इज नेट पेमेंट मेथड. इफ लमसम अमाउंट इज नॉट स्पेसिफाइड बट द डिटेल्स ऑफ शेयर्स एंड डिबेंचर्स इश्यूड टू partners and the cash paid to them are given, the purchase consideration can be worked out by aggregating these amount. Net assets method, where neither the lump sum amount of purchase consideration is given nor the details of shares, debentures, etc. issued to the owners. Goodwill or capital reserve, when the purchase consideration is calculated on the basis of net assets acquired, the amount of goodwill is clearly stated. But when the purchase consideration is given as a lump sum amount or it is calculated on the basis of net payments made, the goodwill can be ascertained by comparing the purchase consideration with the amount of net assets acquired. If the amount of purchase consideration is more than the value of net assets acquired, the difference is attributed to goodwill. Goodwill or capital reserve. On the other hand, if the value of net assets acquired is more than the purchase consideration, the difference may be treated as capital reserve. It represents a provision against the possible fall in the value of some assets whose values could not be ascertained at this stage. It should be noted that goodwill or capital reserve arises only when the purchase consideration is given as a lump sum or is calculated on the basis of net payment. Accounting entries. The company usually makes 3 entries at the time of purchase of business. The first entry relates the purchase consideration, the second relates to the assets and liability taken over, and the third entry relates to the payment to the vendors. So the first entry for purchasing consideration is as follows: business purchase account debit to vendor account, being business purchase from the vendors for the given amount. Accounting entry second, The second entry, as stated earlier, relates to the incorporation of assets and liability taken over by the company. It should be noted that assets should be shown at the agreed market or realizable value and not the book value as given in the balance sheet of the vendors. It should also be remembered that the account of sundry debtors, if taken over, should be debited with the gross amount and the provision for doubtful debt should be credited along with other liability taken over. Accounting entry 3. Thus entry will be as under: cash account debit, sundry debtors account debit, stock account debit, prepaid expense account debit, goodwill account debit if any, 2 provision for doubtful debts account, 2 sundry creditor account, 2 business purchase account, 2 capital reserve account if any, being incorporation of assets liabilities taken over. Accounting entries 4. The third entry is for payment to the vendors. The vendors account should be debited and the bank account or share capital account should be credited. It should be noted that if shares are issued at a premium, the shares premium account should be credited with the premium account amount and share capital account should be credited with the nominal value of shares issued. Similarly, if shares or debentures are issued at a discount on issue of shares account should be debited with the amount of discount allowed, but the share capital or debentures account shall be credited with the nominal value of shares or debenture issued. The journal entry in this respect will be as follows: vendor account debit to discount on vendor account debit, discount on issue of shares account debit, debentures account debit to bank account, to share capital account, to share premium account, to debenture account, being cash paid and shares or debentures issued to vendors. Now interest to vendor. Payment of the purchase consideration to the vendors can only be made after the company has been incorporated and shares issued to the public and money received. The business is normally purchased with effect from the opening date of the accounting year of the business, which may be much earlier than the date of incorporation. Hence, the vendors can rightly claim and are entitled to interest on the amount of purchase consideration at an agreed rate from the date of purchase to the date of final payment. Debtors and creditors taken over for the collection and payment on behalf of the vendors. Sometimes the purchasing company may not like to take over the debentures, take over the debtor and creditors of the vendors, but may simply agree to collect the debtors and pay to the creditors on behalf of the vendors. Under such situation, the purchasing company will have to open 3 accounts. Number 1, vendors debtor accounts, number 2, vendors creditor accounts, and number 3, vendors suspense account. The terms vendors is added to the 3 accounts to distinguish them from the company's own debtors, creditors and suspense account. Now debtors, creditors taken over for collection and payment on behalf of the vendors. 2. The vendors debtor account will be debited with the amount of debtors taken over for collection and the vendors creditor account will be credited with the amount of creditors taken over for making payments. Any difference between the two shall be transferred to vendor suspense account, as normally the amount of debtors is more than the amount of creditors. Vendor suspense account and credited. Debtors and creditor taken over for the collection and payment on behalf of the vendors. Third, the usual entries required to be done in this respect are as follows: for taking over the debentures, debtors and creditors, then vendors debtor account debit to vendors creditor account to vendors suspense account. Number 2, for cash collected from debtors, then cash account debit to vendors debtors account. Then for discount allowed to debtors any bad debts, then vendors suspense account debit to vendors debtor account. And for recovery of the bad debts previously written off, cash account debit to vendors suspense account. For making payment to the creditors, then vendor's creditor account debit to cash account. For discount or any other allowance given by the creditors, then vendor's creditor account debit to vendor's suspense account. For payment to an unrecorded creditors, then vendor's suspense account debit to cash account. For commission agreed to the received for the work, then vendor's suspense account debit to commission account. Then for final settlement or payment, then vendor's suspense account debit to cash account. Profit prior to incorporation. The acquisitions of business usually commences from the beginning of the accounting year of the business. But the incorporations of the company which takes over the said business may not commence on the same date. It may be much later. Hence the profit of such business have to be divided into two parts. Profit from the date of the beginning of the accounting years of the business up to the date of incorporations of the company. And second is profit from the date of incorporations of the company up to the closing of the accounting year of the business. Then profit prior to incorporation 2. The whole amount of profits belong to the company, but since legally it cannot do any business before its incorporation, the profits earned by the company for the period falling before the date of incorporation is regarded as capital profits and is transferred to capital reserve account. This amount can be utilized only for writing off the losses of capital nature. They are not available for declaring dividend to the shareholders. Thus, you can appreciate the need to calculate the profits prior to incorporation. And now, do it yourself. Calculate the ratio of time from the following details. A public limited company was formed to take over the business of a firm as from 1st October 1988. The company received the certificate of incorporation on 31st December 1988 and the certificate to commence business on 1st March 1989. The accounting year end on 30th September 1989. And that's it from session number 14. Thank you.